just writing. I'm just writing. I'm just writing. Writing in my right. In my right. Writing in my right. Am I writing? Writing in my right. Am I right? Writing in my right. Am I writing in my right? I'm zoning, street riding in my ride. Where I'm going, I can't even decide. I need to take a breather, a reliever. I will see it when I see it. I'm a leaper, so I piece it. All I need is my speakers. Yeah, the beat to it, and the speaker this on some deeper shit. I'ma eat with this, you can't compete with this. Keep the refilling, keep the heater hit. Call it cheetah swift. When I hit my destination, I need some drinks to sit and keep on going, keep on rolling. Zoning, I'm not going home. Papa was a rolling stone, traveling down this lonely road. Never know where he's gonna go, but I'm so ready though. Calm like the calm before the storm. Life's a metaphor, can't ignore. What's in store? Mechanic doors opening. I'm focusing, I'm hoping. I'm not hopeless. Everything that I've been working for, everything I've been hurting for, like the hunger that you can't ignore. It's right there and you can't afford to let it go. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting.
DFCRadio.com.
Last time on Heavy T's Grow Show.
Send him the video, send him the picture, send him the ticket.
And don't ever ask for a fucking video again.
Allegedly.
I'm going to be like, I'm going to hand deliver this. Where you at? And you're
And
going
then
to
just
catch
deliver
his
the
hands.
then just deliver the hands
And
on
I'm going to videotape that and make more money off the TikTok video I make rather than the fucking...
Yeah, if the pack's only worth a G,
I
on the
would not
line.
encourage any of that activity or use.
You dig.
You dig.
The interesting part to me was that he was like testing me on what the genetics were to see if I knew in the beginning. So then I told him what they were, and then he was like, well, actually, I made it. Like, now that you got to tell me what it is, like, I'll agree with you that you knew or whatever. And it's like, dude, what kind of fucking... I thought he was a custody trying to buy seeds, and he's like some detective that, like, made half of the strain that I've got.
We got a special caller on the line. He's known for his comedy. He's a friend of the show, but moreover, for his sports predictions. This motherfucker called it out, saying Warriors v. Celtics in the finals. Spanky Hayes.
What's happening?
Warriors in 6. Do they cover? Do they cover?
I think they cover. Listen, you gotta remember this too. Boston sucks at home. They get all their road wins. They get their wins on the road.
Yeah, no one wants to play for a bunch of angry white people. What the fuck's going on over there?
So, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be, but that's what is gonna fuel Stephen Curry, and who's the greatest shooter ever. You know what I'm saying?
He is. I agree
you
with
can't
that.
even argue that. Like it's like he's gonna get his 30 because he's gonna get 30. I say Jordan Poole is gonna get about 18. I say Klay Thompson is gonna get about 21 or better.
All right. Well,
And,
I'm writing this down
that's gonna
because
be the
if Spanky Thomas comes true on this, then dog.
We're going to Vegas.
Like he's already in Vegas. How are you not just betting all of this shit right now, making the fucking?
I do.
Dude, weed is cheap and gas is expensive. I'm gonna start fucking growing gas. I don't even know how to grow gas no more, dog. I used to call my weed gas, but it ain't filling up my fucking tank. Spanky, explain to us what an NFT is, because I know you're in entertainment. You got agents, you got people. They you know what it is at least, don't you?
I mean, I think don't nobody really know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just growing and growing. Every day is like a different definition of it. But from what I understand is that you could have something and take, like, someone buys the picture, like you always own it. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I don't know. Yeah, man. That's my cousin. People don't know that. That's my cousin, man.
Yeah, I see the
My
resemblance.
cousin Saint right there.
That's right.
I see the resemblance.
That's right, Holmes.
Yeah, well, we don't resemble each other that much, but y'all have a blessed one, man. Smoke fucking weed every day.
Yes, sir.
And make money and touch as many titties as you can.
I will. I am on
Good
that.
advice.
I love titties.
I will do that for you.
I love titties. I see liked by black market cultivators, liked by black market cultivators, comments by black market cultivators. Jack,
Yeah, I'm in there.
these girls are in the P&W though. I mean, it's good to look at, but dude, if you're that thirsty, we need to go to the Palms.
No.
What the? All right, I gotta use the restroom. And other than that, we out. Oh my God.
The cannabis portion of this show is designed as entertainment only for legal medicinal cannabis patients over 21 years of age and is not meant to encourage any other activity or use. Yeah, dig.
Talking about the heavy To Grow Show. Knowing someone better than your show. And everybody knowing this whole show. Yeah. Talking about the heavy To Grow Show.
People, are you ready? Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Don't worry about the president. He can't stop us now. He
Can't stop us now. Calling out to all area hoes. What is? Welcome. Hold on. I think I got to restart. 2022, I changed it up. What it do?
That's new.
That's totally new.
That's 2023.
I started that shit.
You're already in the future.
Just like I started long hair. Don't care.
Now it is what it is.
No, it'd be what it be. What it be. It used to be what it is. Thank you for correcting me over there. Look, this motherfucker must got a new job because he's washing and brushing his hair. Or he's got a girlfriend.
It seems conditioned, like it's more
Do you have a girlfriend?
flowy today.
He was eating all you can eat at Shakey's earlier.
I got
Damn, he's balling.
money. Like I got like $10.
He's
Hell
got the
yeah.
all you can eat shakies cash.
2 seltzers only cost $8. Leaves you with 2. Leaves me with 2 seltzers.
I got you.
So he's buying better hair products.
Yeah,
And I can afford shampoo and conditioner.
yeah. It's that.
No more Pert Plus.
The detangler. You need a detangler. You were growing dreadlocks at one point.
I know they was locking up back there. It was
You know
pop locking.
old school Dino?
Yeah.
Beard 30 Dino, when he had long hair and his long beard, this fool straight came to the show with his hair dreadlocked into his beard and didn't know.
That's for many sleep
It was that long.
sessions.
It was that long. And it was like,
That's pretty heady when you think about it. Like, if you don't notice that your hair's dreaded into your beard, like you're stony, dude.
shout out to Dino. I hope he's doing well. I hope he's doing better. I hope he's doing well.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
562-653-0707. We got a great show for you tonight. We've got Scott coming in from Left Coast Wholesale. Going to tell us about the products they have up there, keeping true to the roots, to the culture. A lot of different things going on in the world of hydroponics. And Left Coast Wholesale they're up there in NorCal, but they are staying true to the culture. Like, started by some of the real OGs up there.
They didn't sell out. They're one of the original, and they're still there.
Oh yeah,
You know.
they're there, and they are slanging and banging. We got Scott coming on, and a few moments. He's going to tell us about some new products as well as some of the staples that have been slanging and banging. Hope to get a temperature on the industry from an insider up there. Because, listen, I love the guys that call in all the time. I love our reps on the street, Hydro Chef, Horty Chris. I mean, Horty Chris just calls him, and it's so late back in Michigan that he's just fade dog.
Yeah,
He's fade dog the fuck out.
But he's like that at regular time here too.
True.
That's what he does.
Yeah. And Hydro Chef is all good, but Hydro Chef is...
He's from Ohio. He's doing the best he can for an Ohioan.
I would want to get his take on the Deshaun Watson thing with his Cleveland Browns, because I know he's a huge Cleveland Brown fan. He's got season tickets.
That's his home state.
He flies back to Cleveland every home game.
He's into it.
Yeah. He tried to give me tickets to go back there against the Chargers. What are you telling me some? All right. Didn't we just call that fool? Oh, no.
And then I called here.
That's why we check our stuff.
Oh, technical difficulty.
I got to double check. Double check. Double check.
It's the heat, man. It overheats the equipment.
That's everything's
So
melting.
best story of the night. This is best story of the night, and it's coming out first because it's late on the East Coast, and Louis can't stay up all night. I mean, he's got a healthy methadone habit, and he can't just stay up till like midnight every Wednesday. So we're going to get him the information that he needs of what the fuck is going on with BMC. Yeah. I roll up into the studio parking lot. This fool is in his rape van. And if you don't follow Black Market Cultivators, I'm sure there's pictures of his rape van on there. But and I just say that with fun, love, and gratitude to your van. Because I drove the van for a while, but people told me I was the worst of the worst.
The van's been around.
The roll up, and you have every window and door, side door, both front doors, and both swinging back doors wide open.
Yeah.
It's hot today. I assume you're trying to get some breeze.
Yeah, so.
But you realize you have... in the back of your van, there's nothing in it.
Besides
a queen mattress. And you're sitting there with your big hairy ass in an empty parking lot with a queen mattress in the back. Just like, what the fuck?
I figured I wouldn't look suspicious as long as
and you were eating candy.
As long as I just owned it.
Look, this is what he was eating right here.
Like
He's eating these motherfucking candies.
If you look nervous, then they're like, hey, what are you doing here? But if you just look like you're supposed to be there.
Hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, you're hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But I was trying to run the air. I ran the air for like 5 minutes.
Is your air conditioner broke again?
No, it's working, but I was like, well, I don't know how long it's going to be. So then I just instantly went into camp mode.
Doug, I
opened the
replaced that air
windows and the
conditioner
doors, got the
twice when
breeze.
I owned the van.
Yeah, and I did like once before you got it, and then again after I got it.
You got to
back.
sell it, bro. The air goes out, the tranny goes out.
You get 2,000 miles per air conditioner.
Well, the way that you're rolling, maybe you want the tranny to come in.
Or you got 20,000 miles per air conditioner, and then like 30,000 miles per transmission.
Yeah, fuck Ford.
It needs a lot of it needs a lot of maintenance.
Fuck Ford, dog. How's your Mercedes running?
I don't get to drive it, but it's running good.
You get to pay for it.
Yeah, I get to pay the bill and buy the gas for it.
That's all right, though. Fuck it. Life is crazy right now. Everything is upside down. People are going sideways. I did hear, though, the new low has stabilized.
Yeah.
If you got fire.
It's stabilized at rock bottom, but it's stabilized.
Your shit's at rock bottom because it is what it is.
It like steeply went down to rock bottom, hit, and then just like super nice plateau right there at the bottom.
The mids have hit.
Yeah.
But if you got fired, I think that it's above 1,500 now.
Yeah, and then and if you have fire and you're willing to take 1,300, it goes right away. Like if it's really fire, but not Oreos.
They're yours. Come
Yeah.
to me.
You could have them.
No, I'm
I'll take 'em.
gonna give them to you.
Yeah, I'll take them.
Yeah. Maybe Scott has something to say about it. 562-653-0707. That is the phone number. Talk about the new low. Talk about what's going on in your grow, your life. Let's help you out. It's a hot season right now. It's getting hot. Remember, there's some ways to be able to offset some of the ill effects of high temperature, bug pressure, insect infestation pressure on your garden. Check out Top Shelf Cultivation, their products. They've got a brand new silica that I've been using, and
Breaks the jaws of spider mites.
it basically broke the spider mite's will to live.
Yeah, first it breaks their jaw, then it breaks their will. Then they move out.
Hey, Turtle Seed Company turned it on so it doesn't break their jaw. It whopped their jaw.
Yeah, dude, you got to put that on the bottle.
It whopped your jaw.
It whops your jaw.
Whopped my spider mite jaw right off his face, bro.
You feed this to your plant, brother, it whops the mite's
It's
jaw.
going over to his little Kiki, and it's saying, "I'm so sorry," and it's because it got a broken jaw. It's probably,
Yeah, with a little cartoon of like a spider mite with a whopped jaw. Like,
I can't eat. I can't do nothing. My jaw got whopped. Don't go eat that. Don't go eat the plant over there with the top shelf silica. It's so sticky, but it's so hard to eat.
He's like, spider mite's packing up his shit in little webs. He's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
My will is broken.
It's on a branch slung over his shoulder,
Yeah, it's a little web sack with his goods.
and it goes straight to your garden. Your garden.
Whoever's not using the silica.
Back to where it came from.
It's like, I got to find my way home.
This guy gave me some fucking whack ass Gary Payton Saint. It smelled like garlic, mustard, fucking mustard cheese.
Yeah, someone sort this out.
It was a garlic mustard cheeseburger.
Is Gary Payton supposed to smell like garlic, mushroom, onions? Someone call in and let me know. Because I think someone messed me up.
Are you showering?
No, it's definitely
Are
definitely
you
the bed.
using the deodorant with the aluminum in it, or
Yeah,
the
it's the aluminum
hippie
one.
deodorant?
No, I got to use the real aluminum one.
Yeah, don't use the hippie
Yeah,
deodorant.
you've seen how autistic I am. Come on.
That's so fucking ridiculous. Saint don't use the hippie one, and look how smart he is. It ain't make you no stupider, dude. You're good.
Yeah,
as
no,
long as we stay above the echelon of whoever
There-
thinks that it's gonna make
There's a
us smarter.
status quo, yeah. Like, as long as you're smarter than like people like Mark, keep using your.
What?
Aluminum
No. Yes.
deodorant.
No. What? Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I use deodorant. No, I don't. Okay. Go Raiders.
Yeah. Do you
All
use
right.
deodorant, Mark? I'm not sure.
Saint, do we got a guest? Yes, we do. Who do we got? Before you bring him up, tell us who it is.
We got the one and only Scott McCohen, sales rep at the one and only Geopots, fabric pot extraordinaires.
Left Coast Wholesale. Yes, sir. He's up in there. They sell a lot more than just Geopod. Let's get Scott up here. Scott, what's growing on?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
We're doing well, man.
What's up?
Are you
Well, that's good.
Are you using
Because,
aluminum?
I mean, and this is a crazy industry, man. I'm glad. You know, has it really reached rock bottom? I'm really hoping. I mean, you know, come on.
I'm hoping it doesn't go lower, right?
Well, we're talking about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
low, the new low of what growers are getting. And the mids
new low,
growers, the mids growers, which are like Black Market Cultivator, Big Jack over here.
No, he stopped growing mids last month.
Well, then,
I'm changing it up.
but you're still going to sell for mid
man.
prices at Ruben Arbor. This is what you did with everything.
That's
But Scott,
Man, it's been quite a year. I've been in the industry for a while, and you know, we've seen some up and downs, but this has been pretty challenging year here.
it's
And,
not just
you know, it's literally my job to call around the country. I talk to hydroponic store owners, you know, around the country and visit them. So it's being felt most everywhere. There's a few bright spots, a few places where things are kind of loosening up lately in some states where they're like doing all right, but
what
you
states
know,
do
all
we
the
ship to?
traditional spots, California, Oregon, Colorado, Michigan, Washington. Yeah, it's a challenge. Let's hope it keeps going up from here.
yeah. I'll tell you, I do not think that it's necessarily systemic to cannabis industry only. I know it's not. It's
Yeah.
everywhere. And it's because people are not able to spend as much on whatever it is. If it's food, gas, luxuries, which cannabis I would say is one for several people. It's a medicinal thing and it's a medicine. I understand that. So don't bite my head off on Instagram.
But for the
whoever's out there
recreational
listening.
peeps, it's a luxury.
But it's a luxury that they're like, hey man, I could cut down a little bit. And I'll tell you right now, as a member of the grow industry and a grower as well, if I can't sell my product, I can't go buy more grow product. I just can't. I gotta wait till it moves.
Right.
And
Right.
and I think we're at this point that a bunch of the Johnny-come-latelys are already clearing out because their Chad dads can't make it work. They can't. The numbers don't add up on their spreadsheet, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing or why they're doing it even.
Trust funds drying up.
They thought they were just going to get in and run with the football.
Oh yeah. I mean, I talked to a lot of people out in Oklahoma. I went out there a few years ago when it was just starting to take off, and man, I watched just people flooding in from all over the country, buying farms, thinking we were going to take over the world. Just it went crazy out there.
And they only have 1.5 million people in Oklahoma.
Well, let's just put it this way: it's not
Half
all
of them are
staying in
growing.
the state. Come on. I mean, you know what I mean? It's probably going east, but that's my speculation.
Yeah, well, not just east to Tennessee, Texas, Florida. Yeah, going east, going south, doing that thing. But nonetheless, overall, I don't think people are less interested in cannabis. I just think they have less purchasing power.
Yeah, we saw a big increase here. Everybody's doing well during the pandemic. I don't know, maybe everybody was sitting at home. They had nothing to do but smoke and grow weed.
And they got free money from the governments.
They had their stimuluses.
And they're like, hey, here's free money, and you don't have to pay your bills or your rent, and we're going to give you a year to not pay those. And they're like, of course, we're going to be crushing it in the next year, so we'll just buy weed with this. And filet mignons and all the greatness.
Yeah, now we're in the weed apocalypse. I don't know, something like that. We'll see. It does bottom out. We've seen these things happen before.
2016 it happened, and then it bounced back better than ever. 2009 it happened in the recession after the housing bubble. Same thing happened, and people look to grow their own. Going to a dispensary, wherever it's at, with taxes and the prices, it's so expensive. It pays off to grow your own. Like, go spend $500, get 6 plants.
Yeah.
Spend $500 at your grocery store, alight 6 plants. You'll have enough for a round, and get the products to grow the fire. Growing the fire isn't that difficult, is it, Scott?
No, I mean, what we like to grow is organic, especially if people want to kind of do that kind of a thing. And you're right. I think people just to spend the money and have fun doing it. I mean, people grow tomatoes and things just for the fun of it. And I think just the hobbyists, grow some great weed, grow some fire yourself, learn how to do it. It's not only fun, but it saves you money as well.
Listen up.
Well, if you are looking to grow your own, which of course on the Heavy Tea Grow Show the listeners are, and you haven't checked out Left Coast Wholesale, go to leftcoastwholesale.com and check out the lineup of products they have. First off, they got geopots. They've been rolling with geopots. And Scott, I've been growing in fabric pots for well over a decade. I've used several different types of them. I got stuck on one which was, one of the first ones that entered the market. And I was like, this is the one I'm using. And as others came down the line, I'm like, nah. And finally, big brain up at Left Coast, I said, T, I'm going to send you some geopots. And don't be so stubborn and give them a fucking try, dude. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. Send me some free shit. Okay. Just like our show. Send me some free shit. I'll try it. All right. By the way, we got some geopots to give out tonight. I believe we have some 1 and 3 gallons, thanks to Left Coast Wholesale. So if you call in and you got questions, you're going to get hooked up. 562-653-0707. But they send it out to me, and I just looked at them. I'm like, man, do I really want to switch it up? Because growers get stuck on their methods, their methodology. You start changing things up, and who knows what's going to happen, right? And if the grow gets bigger, if we get a big grow, if it's a difference that is negative or less, then it could be substantial. Luckily, I was able to put these geopots into a smaller little garage setup, 10, 12 lights, and use them. And I was stoked on them. Starting off, I noticed the structure of them, how more secure they were, how much
They're
more
the sturdier one.
more sturdy. Thank you, Jack.
Yeah,
More sturdy
that's kind of our thing.
that they don't fold over when I'm trying to fill them.
Right. That's sort of our thing. I mean, there's a lot of fabric pots out there, and most of them are kind of one and dones. And I get it. People want to use it once and throw them away, but our thing is that you can really reuse these. I mean, we say 5 rounds, but I talk to growers all the time that 8 rounds. And just, I don't know, throw them in a trash can, put some OxyClean in them, move them around a little bit, dry them out, boom, do it again. So it's actually more economical in the long run. And you're right, they are the thickest on the market, and that's kind of our thing. People want to reuse them.
How does that
stuff.
How does that affect, if at all, the air pruning of the roots?
Well, you want to kind of brush them off and wash them so you do have that air, and that's the way it really works with the fabric pots. Is that when it hits that air, rather than just kind of wrapping around the same roots, you get kind of that bound up thing. You want them to branch out. You want more branches, and that's what fabric pots do. So they hit the sides, you get that air, and that's what it does. That's why fabric pots would get better quality. You're going to grow more fire with fabric pots, and if you want ones that are really going to hold up, that's what the geopots come in.
And I've always used, I tell people at my store or whatever that I use a smaller container than I would with a plastic pot. So if normally on an indoor grow I was in soil, I would use a 5-gallon pot, right? I don't grow trees inside. I grow, little bushes, not little, but substantial bushes that a 5-gallon is going to do well. But in fabric, I tell them you go 3 with it, and I get away with it. But one thing I do notice, first off, is that correct that we can use less grow medium if we're air pruning, or is that just urban urban myth?
Well, yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense, and also just the self-regulation of the watering. You're not going to get too much water. You're not going to get, it's going to just kind of self-regulate that. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. If you have a better container, you can probably get away with it.
One thing,
so many different ways of doing it, though. Yeah,
I know, and there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat. We also say that a lot. One thing I will tell the listeners is that because of the air pruning and you have lesser grow media, they dry out faster. So you have to make sure that you have adequate watering and watering capabilities. If you got a spot that you're going to come in once a day right before the lights go out and it gets heated up like it is right now, you can come into some wilted plants if you're not on top of it. You have to choose the adequate amount of grow media to sustain the moisture that you want.
It's high performance.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about what else Left Coast got going on up there. I've seen some of the newer products. We interviewed, I think it was Daniel from Pacific Substrates, and some other folks.
Well, we're really excited about that. Was it Ben, I think?
Oh, Ben, Ben.
The thing I think what we see is that, this year especially, growers looking for, other ways of, other revenue streams, and mushroom growing is, becoming more and more of a thing. And who better than cannabis growers than cannabis growers to get into that? Because cannabis growers know how to regulate rooms. They know how to create controlled environments. They're used to growing stuff. This is right down our alley. And so we're really excited we're going to be branching off and getting into all kinds of mushroom growing supplies. Right now we're partnered with Specific Substrates out of Oakland, who they make a really superior mushroom growing substrate media. It's great that you had Ben on the show. Those guys really know what they're doing. They've tried everything. They have an incredible facility in Oakland. I've been down there, and they gave us a whole tour and had us working the clean rooms and doing it all ourselves and learning a lot about it. I'm still learning a lot. lot about how to grow mushrooms. I feel like I'm a real beginner, kind of like feel like I was maybe 20 years ago with cannabis, just learning how to do this.
Yeah.
And, mushrooms kind of like almost feels a little bit like where cannabis was in the 90s or something. I don't think it's ever going to, replace the sheer volume or anything, but it, there's there's medicinals, there's gourmet mushrooms, and there's other kinds. And, it's something we're really excited to get into. So, I don't know how many questions I can answer because I feel like I'm really learning about it. But we're testing all kinds of waters, and we're really jumping in full on the mushroom growing supplies.
Well, just remind the listeners, and they can go back a couple weeks ago when we had Ben on, and listen to the show again, and he'll explain it. But as you guys distribute it, tell us a little bit about the products that you can get from Left Coast Wholesale that are made by Pacific Substrates.
Yeah, they sell a substrate is basically the growing media, and so there's two components. It's the compost part of it, and they get their compost from a wildlife sanctuary, shall we say, very unique animals, and they go through a very, very sophisticated composting process. So they really dial in the right temperatures. They really it's a pretty sophisticated system, and then so they have the what they call the paddy poo, which is the waste material compost that they use, and then they have whole grain with the whole oats and sorghum, and you mix the two. You have 2 parts of the compost, 1 part of the grains. You mix that in a bag, you seal it up, you inject it with the spores, and then you seal it up, and voila. Put it in a room with some light and a steady temperature, and within weeks you just get, it's amazing to see them just bloom. You can get multiple rounds, 3, sometimes 5 rounds. You cut them down and they grow back, you cut them down and they grow back. It's really pretty fun. So that's what we're selling right now is the mushroom substrates. And that's the product you use again and again. So we're now looking into expand from that. And I don't have anything to tell you more because we're just getting into it. But right now, it's Pacific Substrates. Well,
has it caught on at the hydroponic stores?
Yeah, and I've been touring around doing a lot of hydroponic stores. It's my job. I was up in Oregon. I was in Arizona in April. And a lot of these stores are in the same boat. They're kind of like, wow, we're looking for other avenues, and they say a lot of people are coming in asking about it now. It's kind of on the upswing. So this gives, I think, store owners another avenue. This gives growers another avenue. And like I said, who better than cannabis growers than to get into this?
Absolutely.
So, and as far as certain kinds of mushrooms, well, things are kind of getting looser and more liberalized, shall we say, in that area, more accepted, and. So as it goes in that direction, who knows what's going to happen?
That's awesome. And I believe Left Coast Wholesale has the exclusivity to distribute Pacific Substrates. So if you're a hydro store, an employee, or a customer that wants to get at your local hydro store, you got to tell them. Go contact Left Coast Wholesale. Go to leftcoastwholesale.com to check out more about those products. What are some of the other products that I see on the new lineup? This GeoFlora.
Yeah.
Tell me about GeoFlora.
Yeah, organic dry nutrient. We think it's the best on the market. It is very, very potent. So it's a once every 2-week top grass organic dry nutrient. This isn't a fully soluble. With organic materials, it's not a soluble product. It's you blend it into your soil mix at the beginning. And then every 2 weeks, about a cup per 10 gallons, roughly, and you can extrapolate from that. But it's great. We were talking about the home grower, backyard grower, doing his 6 plants or whatever. It's actually perfect for that because, you jump it on top, go out there every 2 weeks, throw it on the top, and then you just water it in, watch it slowly break down and seep down into the roots. And when you dump a little bit more on, a couple weeks later, you can actually still see sometimes the remnants of what's left over as it's breaking down naturally and organically. And one good thing about it is that it's encapsulated into a kind of a granular substance, so it's not powdered. And it has the second ingredient is guano, bat guano, and so you don't want to breathe that stuff. And actually, breathing guano powder is not cool. It's a thing you should avoid. It's actually pretty serious. And so it's good to have a granular form of your dry nutrients when you're working with them. So it has that, plus the little grains has a little
Last
micro
time
amount
on Heavy
of
T's
all
Grow
the
Show.
ingredients. So it's not like you're taking all these ingredients, you're just throwing them in a bag, mixing them up, and then scattering them on, which you can get hot spots. The water will swirl around, heavier ingredients will sink to the bottom. You end up with kind of not an even distribution of the nutrients, but if each little grain has a micro amount of all the ingredients, it's just really pretty ingenious production method that has been done here, and so that way you get an even distribution. So there's a grow and a bloom version of it, and we're really excited. And
do we just use it in any organic soil? Can I use it in cocoa? Can I use what's ideally? How do I use it?
Anything but a pure hydroponic application. Any kind of soil or soilless kind of stuff. Yeah.
Is there any wax on it, like slow release, or is it all kind of just like dissolves?
The natural. Yeah, all the ingredients are listed. Every single ingredient is listed on the label. That's organic. It is CDFA, not just OMRI listed, but it's California Organic. When that's the hard one to get, the California Organic certified. And so when you have these natural organic materials, it just by nature naturally breaks down. And that's kind of the how it works. It's you're not getting so it's almost impossible to burn a plant with this because just the way it breaks down.
Yeah, that's what we want.
So yeah, the samples. If people want to get some samples, they contact us, and we can send it to your nearest hydroponic store and get you a sample to try out.
Scott, tell me the ideal organic grow to grow the fire for you. All right, like you said, you like growing organic. So GeoFlora is organic, CDFA, as well as OMRI. We got the GeoPots. What I want to know. And I'm going to give you a couple questions.
I would add in some mycorrhizal fungi. We are very happy to be distributing Dynamico mycorrhizal fungi, which
I like Dynamico.
Has just a killer propagule rate. Here's the thing with mycorrhizal fungi, it really works well with beneficial bacteria. They work symbiotically, and they're two different domains, really. There's bacteria and there's the fungi, mycorrhizal fungi. When it comes to beneficial bacteria, under proper circumstances, it's gonna multiply. You give it bacteria food, sugars, that kind of thing. It's going to naturally multiply like it does in a petri dish. When you're dealing with mycorrhizal fungi, not so much. The propagule count matters because what they do is either that propagule, it touches the root physically, and usually activated by water, and it latches onto the root, and then it's fed sugars from the plant, activates that mycorrhizal fungi propagule, and then it starts to grow, and then that's when it sheathes the root a little bit with sort of a natural coating, and then eventually develops the hyphae that grow out from it. So think of it as roots for the root.
Is that where NorCal came up with the term hyphae? From using mycorrhizae in their cannabis grows?
Yeah. No, I thought it was just a
hold on.
thing, but
Scott,
Yeah,
contact Dynamico and be like, Dynamico, getting a hyphae. Is how you say it? Say it's you're a rapper. How do you say hyphae?
You said it right, hyphae.
Yeah. But am I getting hyphae? Am I acting hyphae? What am I doing?
No, you're acting pretty chill right now, bro.
What does hyphae mean?
It's like when they do their dance, you know what I mean? When they do like that E40.
Ooh, so the mycorrhizae be doing dances. They do,
roots
Scott.
It's a root
Scott, the mycorrhizae be getting hyphae. Can't get a hyphae enough up in this.
You gotta put out some E40 and get hyphae.
How many propagules you got? Well, your mycorrhizae is in hyphae. Dynamico Wiz, Left Coast Wholesale, .com.
Yeah, what you see is what you get with the propagule count. And so Dynamico has 900 propagules per gram, which, as far as I know, blows away. And its propagules are good to have. It's a little better than spores because they actually have the clips, and they grow. They're going to grow a lot higher rate. And so if you just go out there and compare the propagules per gram. So what I was saying is that count actually matters with mycorrhizal fungi because they're not going to multiply other than if they grow on the root and then eventually multiply. But in nature, mycorrhizal fungi is everywhere. Think of it, how do plants just live out in the forest? They're not being fed anything. They break down the bacteria. They work with the bacteria and they work with the mycorrhizal fungi to break down the natural minerals in the soil and feed the plant. And what we do when cannabis growing is we're taking soil, but we don't have time to develop that. It's sterile, and so we need to get it, kind of inject that ecosystem as quickly as we can. So when it comes to mycorrhizal fungi, you want to inoculate early, very early.
It's such a fast time
because
frame.
it takes a little while to develop.
It's such a fast time frame that we grow indoors, and it's a living organism that needs to grow. You're saying.
Yeah, if you get the mycorrhizal fungi developed, then with the bacteria, so the two combined beneficial bacteria with the mycorrhizal fungi, it's going to work better than each one individually. There's a synergistic effect, like the sum of the two is greater than the whatever that thing. And so you get an enhanced effect. They work together, beneficial bacteria. And so I would say the ultimate, organic grow is going to have a really well inoculated mycorrhizal fungi early on, because it takes a while to develop. And by the way, when you add phosphorus in any high level to mycorrhizal fungi environment, it's going to suppress new development of new mycorrhizal fungi. People don't know that. So once you reach bloom let's face it, we dump a very high level, a natural amount of phosphorus on these plants. When we're going into bloom phase, that you just normally wouldn't find in nature. The mycorrhizal fungi is going to be done at that point. And so if you're feeding your plant mycorrhizal fungi after the bloom stage, you're kind of wasting your money. So do it early, do it when you transplant, and it has to touch the root. If you're just scattering the mycorrhizal fungi propagules all around, I worked for a company, and the chief scientist for this mycorrhizal fungi company was saying that it's kind of like winning the lottery. Is that root can actually touch that mycorrhizal way out there. So have it touch the roots right at the root zone. Do it early. Do it when you transplant, and then forget it. Done. Just do it that time.
So the salts, the salts dehydrate the mycorrhizae, is how I understood it. When I talked to Ari, I think from Dynamyco, we interviewed him, and he was like, basically the salts dehydrated and break it down, but you can keep the populations up by feeding them correctly. One thing though, I didn't get a touch with them. Is the use of tap water with chlorine and stuff. Is chlorine going to wipe it out the same way the phosphorus would?
Well, I don't really, honestly, I don't know really the levels of chlorine that would do that. If somebody's using really heavily chlorinated water that's not RO'd or something on the grow, let's face it, it's just not a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't honestly know what the ppms or whatever chlorine would be.
I own a hydro store. I know guys that pee into cups and use human manure. Like you're talking about chlorine? Oh shit, this is fucking crazy shit I ever heard. They're not using RO. No, believe me. In Long Beach, there are people ain't using RO. They ain't using water.
Okay.
They're using. Hey, you just said
cult.
We just talked about the mycorrhizae getting a high fee.
It's called
I guarantee.
veg.
They said I can buy RO. Or I can go get some grape soda and play E40 for them, and it's gonna be that much better.
Get high fee.
Yeah, it's got sugar in it.
Yeah, and our geoflora has the beneficial bacteria already in it, and but by the way, if you look at the beneficial bacteria products in the market, the real rock star of beneficial bacteria for growing is Bacillus subtilis. That is just, if you kind of read the literature of the scientific papers about agriculture and beneficial bacteria, it's such an amazing strain.
That's
Bacillus subtilis.
Follow the science.
And then there's different combinations of when you have colony forming units of different consortiums of colony forming of the CFUs. Consortium is what they call a grouping of beneficial bacteria, and the real action actually is you see Bacillus subtilis, but there's actually many substrains, and that's where the people who are really developing these, that's where all the action is in the substrains and how well they're developing those substrains. And that's what you don't see on the package. They're not going to tell you that. Yep. They'll just tell you the over level of the species, which is Bacillus subtilis and the various other species on that. But really, it's a lot of the action is in the substrains on that. So getting the right consortium of colony-forming units, and I always recommend at least have some Bacillus subtilis in there somewhere, and then with the development of the mycorrhizal fungi, and then put in your organic inputs. I mean, like in the I can read off GeoFlora has, like the bloom has the alpha meal, back guano, blood meal, bone meal, composted turkey litter, crustacean meal, feather meal, fish bone meal, fish protein hydrosolate, which is great, kelp meal, magnesium sulfate, volcanic ash, neem seed meal, which is amazing stuff, potassium sulfate, and rock phosphate, which is fantastic stuff. So that's the kind of stuff which is your organic inputs. And then, then I would add some kind of a bloom booster. And this is where I personally stray from going pure organic.
All right, tell us.
Is in the bloom booster.
How you do
and
it?
I'll use, a terpinator or something like that as sort of a terpene enhancer. And then I'll put in a bloom booster of some kind. I mean, if somebody's going real pure organic, then they can find that. Me personally, I'll stray a little bit from the pure organic when it comes to a bloom booster. And then the terpinator.
I'm not mad at
which
you.
Is natural, but not technically organic.
It sounds like I'm not mad at you about that, but it sounds like you might use deodorant with aluminum in it and not that other stuff. Yep, I caught you, didn't I? You be using right guard just like me, dog.
24-hour speed stick.
Tell me the difference, though. Terpinator I've loved for a long time. The difference between terpinator and purpinator.
Yeah, well, terpinator and purpinator for years and years and years was made at Left Coast Wholesale. It was a sister company, and it was made there. And just last year, up until a few months ago, and then Hawthorne purchased that company, and they moved out. So the difference is, so terpinator's been around for years. It's an iconic product. It kind of was one of the products put Left Coast Wholesale on the map. We were the ones that introduced it to the market, just as we did with Purpinator. And, it's proven tried and true. What's in it, I really, honestly, don't know. When I worked for the company.
Hey, if you're listening, DM me. I'll send you the list of Sugana. Brown sugar. Monopotassium phosphate. Anyways. So I got you on that. I got you. Okay, go ahead. Give me the story.
All right. So I worked for Left Coast for 4 years, and when I got hired, the day one, you give you the tour, right? And
don't look at the ingredients.
The rhizoflora is over there, and they said, "See that part of the warehouse?" And you had Dr. David Steins on your radio show. I heard just recently. I think I heard that today. Is that right? You had
several times.
David Stein, the inventor of terpinator?
Yeah, we've had him on several times. Several times.
There you go. That guy's brilliant. And so, what the ingredients are a secret. And I was told, see that part of the warehouse? You're not allowed over there.
That's what's up. But
I worked there for 4 years, right next to where it was made, and I don't know what's in it. So if somebody knows what's in it, great. Tell me. Maybe Hawthorne will tell you.
I'll tell you off the air.
Because they bought the company now.
Well, Hawthorne's got big bucks. They might come after me. But allegedly, I put my right hand into it, and I could tell what's into it. Oh, this is my left hand. My right hand into it, and I could tell what is in it. And I would venture to guess what it is, but I'm not going to right now because there's one more product. And no, you're not going to get away with not talking about the EcoWorks. Now you and your friend.
Let me tell you about Purpinator. I can tell you one thing about Purpinator. What's the difference?
Okay, one time.
Okay. All right, so Purpinator, this is what I've been told. All right, so Purpinator has everything that Purpinator has in it. So you could use it as Terpinator. It's just that there's a few extra ingredients. It's why it's a little bit more expensive. So if you're not using it for the purpinating part of it, probably doesn't make sense to get Purpinator. But you could use it as terpinator if you have some terpinator. So it doesn't. It works. First of all, you have to have the flavonoids genetically present in the profile to begin with that can become purple. It won't take a pure green strain and make it purple. But the way it does it, the way I've been told it does it, is that it's not by stressing the plant. And that was the traditional way. I mean, I used to go down and buy bags of ice, take it back to my grow and dump it in the reservoir, trying to, I don't know. I don't even know if that worked.
Well, the T-Bars test.
Now I'm starting to think that you may not use deodorant with aluminum. You may use Uncle Tom's.
He didn't answer.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. All right. So that's the question. Oh, the deodorant. No, definitely you want to go aluminum free with your deodorant.
Oh, see?
Absolutely.
No.
He's aluminum free.
This is what happens.
I use
Is
aluminum
that the
free.
wrong answer?
No, I use aluminum free
No,
too.
the bots, they
no
eat
wrong
the
answer.
neem seeds and then they defecate and make the neem seed aluminum deodorant.
From the trees at 3,000 feet.
At 3,000 meters. Dude, EcoWorks. So Dr. Sin, we had on the show.
All right.
And that's my Dr. Sin impression. And I did it with him, too. So I'm sure he's not
Oh,
listening.
good.
in.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
Wow.
not- it's not
but
He's
he-
another brilliant man.
He loves me.
great,
right?
yeah.
He's like, and he refused to call me Heavy T. He's like, Taylor? And I'm like, Tyler? Yes, Taylor. I just said it.
Taylor.
They'll do the suicides if they don't do the neem seeds. And the EcoWorks is the highest. Listen, you guys are slanging and banging the EcoWorks, and a neem oil product is not an easy product to get mainstream, to get people to buy. They go buy their neem seed. They don't give a fuck if it's byproduct, if it's this or that. But the EcoWorks is extracted from the highest quality neem seeds and is the best part of the neem seed oil. It's not a byproduct from another industry. And you will see the difference. Yeah. If you use neem seed or if you use EcoWorks, you will not get bugs in your garden. Period, point blank. I'm telling you straight up that your plants will love you. They'll pray